TV soap news and spoilers say that the air was thick with anticipation, the kind that clings to your skin like a second layer, as Dani and Andre stood in the bustling terminal of Los Angeles International Airport. The hum of hurried footsteps, the distant drone of overhead announcements, and the faint scent of coffee and jet fuel swirled around them. It was a moment that teetered on the edge of something extraordinary, a pivot point where ordinary lives could spiral into the stuff of legend, or tragedy. Dani, with her cascade of chestnut curls and a mischievous glint in her hazel eyes, clutched 2 napkins in her hand. Each bore a destination scrawled in her looping handwriting, one read, Paris, the other, Vegas. Andre, all lean confidence and a disarming grin, leaned closer, his voice a conspiratorial whisper. Pick one, Dani. Let fate decide. She laughed, a sound that cut through the terminal's clamor like a bell. Fate, huh? You're just hoping I pick Vegas so you can talk me into something wild. Her fingers danced over the napkins, teasing the moment, before she plucked the one marked Vegas and held it aloft like a trophy. Andre's grin widened, his dark eyes sparking with delight. Vegas it is, then. And you know what they say about Vegas, let's get married. Dani's eyebrows shot up, but her smile didn't falter. Married? Oh, you're bold today, Andre. She leaned in, her voice dropping to match his playful tone. Fine, let's make everyone think we're married. Imagine the looks we'll get. It was a game, a spark of spontaneity that defined their friendship, a friendship that had always danced on the edge of something more, undefined and electric. They were 2 souls who thrived on the thrill of the unknown, and Vegas, with its glittering promises and shadowed risks, was the perfect stage for their next act. Within hours, they were aboard a private jet, a sleek vessel of luxury that felt like a portal to another world. The interior was all polished wood and buttery leather, the kind of opulence that made you feel like you were already half dreaming. As the jet sliced through the twilight sky, Dani sipped champagne, her laughter bubbling over as Andre recounted a story about his last trip to Vegas, a blurry montage of neon lights, poker chips, and a near miss with a street magician who swore he could levitate. This time, Andre said, raising his glass, we're going to outdo that. We're going to own this city. But beneath the excitement, there was a whisper of unease, a shadow that neither acknowledged. Vegas was a city of extremes, a place where fortunes were won and lost in a single night, where dreams could ignite or implode. And in the world of Beyond the Gates, a realm where reality and myth blurred, nothing was ever as simple as it seemed. The show, a cultural juggernaut that had captivated audiences with its blend of soap opera drama and supernatural intrigue, had a way of weaving its characters' choices into a tapestry of fate. Was their trip to Vegas just a weekend getaway, or was it a chapter in a larger, more perilous story? Arrival in Sin City. The jet touched down at McCarran International Airport as the Nevada sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in shades of fire and violet. Vegas greeted them with its signature assault on the senses, the jangle of slot machines, the pulse of music spilling from open-air bars, and the kaleidoscope of lights that made the strip feel like a living, breathing entity. Dani and Andre stepped out of the airport and into a waiting limousine, its driver tipping his cap with a knowing smile. Welcome to Vegas, he said, his voice carrying the weight of someone who had seen it all. Hope you're ready for what this city's got in store. Their destination was the Bellagio, a palace of glass and grandeur where fountains danced to symphonies and chandeliers glittered like captured stars. As they checked in, Dani slipped a faux wedding ring onto her finger, a cheap trinket they'd picked up at a gift shop in LAX. She flashed it at the concierge, who raised an eyebrow but said nothing, and Andre played along, wrapping an arm around her waist and calling her my wife, with a theatrical flourish. The act was seamless, their chemistry a spark that lit up the lobby. To the world, they were newlyweds, reckless and in love, chasing the thrill of a city that never slept. Their suite was a marvel, floor-to-ceiling windows offering a panoramic view of the Strip, a king-sized bed draped in silk, and a minibar stocked with enough liquor to fuel a week of bad decisions. Dani kicked off her shoes and flopped onto the bed, staring at the ceiling. This is insane, Andre. A private jet, a suite like this? We're living someone else's life. He joined her, propping himself up on one elbow. Nah, this is our life, at least for the weekend. Let's make it epic. That night, they dove into Vegas's electric heart. They danced at a club where the bass thrummed through their bones, gambled at tables where the stakes felt dizzyingly high, and toasted to their fake marriage with shots of tequila that burned like promises. Dani's laughter echoed through the casino as Andre won a modest pile of chips at blackjack, only to lose it all on a single, reckless bet at roulette. That's Vegas for you, he said, shrugging it off with a grin. But as the night wore on, there were moments when Dani caught a flicker of something in his eyes, worry, perhaps, or a premonition of something darker. The shadow of Beyond the Gates. In the world of Beyond the Gates, nothing was coincidental. The show, set in a fictionalized version of Los Angeles where the elite rubbed shoulders with supernatural forces, thrived on the idea that every choice carried weight. Dani and Andre, beloved characters played by actors whose chemistry had launched 1,000 fan theories, were no strangers to the show's penchant for chaos. Their Vegas escapade, framed as a spontaneous lark, felt like it was being written by the show's invisible hand, guiding them toward a moment of reckoning. As they wandered the strip at 3 a.m., the city's glow casting long shadows, Dani felt a chill that had nothing to do with the desert night. "Do you ever feel like we're not in control?" she asked, her voice softer than usual. Andre stopped, his hand brushing hers. "What, like we're characters in someone else's story?" He laughed, but it was hollow. "Come on, Dani. We're in Vegas. We're the ones calling the shots." But were they? The show's mythology hinted at a force called the Gatekeepers, enigmatic entities who manipulated events from the shadows. Fans speculated endlessly about their nature. Were they gods, demons, or something else entirely? In the context of Beyond the Gates, a trip to Vegas wasn't just a getaway. It was a crucible, a place where desires were tested and fates were sealed. The napkins Dani had chosen between weren't just paper, they were a choice between paths, and Vegas was the one that glittered with danger. The accident. The second day in Vegas dawned with a haze of hangovers and half-remembered promises. Dani and Andre, still riding the high of their faux marriage charade, decided to rent a convertible and drive into the desert. The open road, the wind whipping through their hair, and the endless expanse of sand felt like freedom. They blasted music, sang off-key, and stopped at a roadside diner where the coffee was strong and the waitress called them lovebirds, with a wink. It was on the return journey, as the sun sank low and the sky turned blood red, that it happened. The details were a blur, a screech of tires, a flash of headlights, the sickening crunch of metal. The convertible spun off the road, kicking up clouds of dust as it skidded into the desert. Dani's scream cut through the chaos, and then, silence. When she opened her eyes, the world was tilted, the car resting at an unnatural angle against a Joshua tree. Andre was slumped in the driver's seat, blood trickling from a cut on his forehead. "Andre," she cried, her hands shaking as she reached for him. His eyes fluttered open, dazed but alive. "I'm okay," he rasped, but his voice was weak. Dani's heart pounded as she fumbled for her phone, only to find no signal in the vast emptiness of the desert. Panic clawed at her chest. They were miles from civilization, injured, and alone. Or were they? As Dani stumbled from the wreckage, her eyes caught a flicker of movement in the distance, a figure, cloaked in shadow, watching from the dunes. It was gone in an instant, but the sight sent a shiver down her spine. In Beyond the Gates, nothing was ever as it seemed, and the desert was a place where the veil between worlds was thin. Was this an accident, or something more sinister? Had the gatekeepers orchestrated this moment, drawing Dani and Andre into a trap? The aftermath. Help arrived in the form of a passing trucker, who called for paramedics and stayed with them until the ambulance's lights pierced the dusk. At the hospital, Dani paced the sterile halls, her mind racing with questions. Andre's injuries were minor, a concussion, some bruises, but the doctor's words echoed in her head, "You're lucky to be alive." Lucky, or something else? The crash had been sudden, inexplicable. The other vehicle, a black SUV, had vanished into the night, leaving no trace. Back at the Bellagio, their suite felt different, the opulence now tinged with unease. Dani sat by the window, staring at the strip's endless pulse. "What happened out there, Andre?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. He sat on the couch, a bandage on his forehead, his usual confidence dimmed. "I don't know. One minute we were fine, and then, it was like the road turned against us." The words hung between them, heavy with implication. In Beyond the Gates, accidents were never just accidents. They were omens, warnings, or punishments. Dani thought of the figure in the desert, the shadow that had vanished as quickly as it appeared. Do you think this is part of the show?" she asked, half joking, half terrified. Andre didn't laugh. "If it is," he said, "we need to figure out what the writers want from us. The bigger picture." Their Vegas adventure, meant to be a carefree escape, had become something else, a chapter in a story neither fully understood. Beyond the Gates thrived on ambiguity, on the tension between free will and destiny. Were Dani and Andre victims of chance, or pawns in a larger game? The show's fans would no doubt dissect every detail, from the napkins to the crash, searching for clues about the gatekeeper's intentions. As they prepared to leave Vegas, the city's glitter felt hollow. The fake wedding ring on Dani's finger was a reminder of their playful charade, but also of the fragility of their reality. They boarded the jet back to Los Angeles in silence, the weight of what had happened settling over them like dust. The crash had been a wake-up call, a reminder that even in a city built on dreams, danger was never far away. Back in the world of Beyond the Gates, their story would continue, weaving through the show's labyrinth of secrets and betrayals. The accident in Vegas was a turning point, a moment that would ripple through their lives and the lives of those around them. Had they escaped the gatekeeper's grasp, or were they still entangled in their web? Only time, and the next episode, would tell. For now, Dani and Andre were left with questions, scars, and the haunting sense that their choices in Vegas had set something in motion, something that could not be undone. In a city where anything was possible, they had glimpsed the edge of the abyss, and survived. But in Beyond the Gates, survival was never the end of the story. We hope you enjoyed it and look forward to sharing more with you in the future. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. TV soap news and spoilers for more updates on Beyond the Gates.